All right, what's going on, YouTube? I had a little time to do one more video before heading out to work. So some of the subscribers have been asking me to do videos on Josh Taylor for a while. I haven't done a video on Josh Taylor yet, but I've been paying attention to him. And I figure I'll do the whole 140 World Boxing Super Series video all at once, okay? Now, out of the current champions, you have Maurice Hooker, who's the WBO champion at 140. He recently won in the top rank fight recently, a few weeks ago. And then you have Jose Ramirez, who beat Amir Imam. I was at that fight earlier this year. Okay, so both of those guys are holding titles. Ramirez has the WBC, and that whole thing is a mess because you have Regis Prograis, that's like the WBC platinum champ or something, and then you got this guy Josh Taylor, who's like the silver champ. But it's like I was just looking at it just now. I looked it up real quick before I did the video, and I'm like, this is ridiculous with the WBC. They have way too many titles right now. Okay, but it's all crazy. So you have those guys, and then you got Cairo Relic, who has the WBA title. I did a video on him earlier this year when I talked about the Barthélemy fight. So you have these guys, and then I personally believe that out of all the guys at 140 and all the champions, I think that the best fighters. Oh, I forgot about Ivan Barachek. He is holding the IBF. He just won that by beating Anthony Yiggett. Okay, I saw that fight too. So out of all these guys, I think the best fighters are in this tournament right now. And I've expressed in other videos the importance of this tournament. You know, I like the fact that, yeah, it sucks that I wish all of these fighters were inside this tournament, but at least Maurice Hooker and Ramirez are gearing up to face each other next. It looks like they had a face-off recently at Hooker's recent win, and it looks like these guys are going to fight each other. So that, at least that's good. But I still think between the two of them, and I think Hooker is going to win that fight. I got Hooker winning that fight. I think between everyone there at that division, I think those two are the weakest ones. I think the winner is going to still be the weakest link out of the other champions. Okay, I would pick Relic to beat the two of them. I would pick Regis Prograis to beat the two of those guys too. You know, I think Josh Taylor is the best too. I think those guys are the top guys in the division. And Barachek is very good too. I mean, I've never seen him. He's new to me. I didn't see him fight until I saw him beat Anthony Yiggett, okay, to be honest. But he looked really good in that fight too. The other guys, I've seen them fight, but Barachek is new to me, and he looks strong. He looks very good, and he looks like he may even beat a Maurice Hooker or definitely Jose Ramirez. I think Jose Ramirez is the weakest. I'm not trying to play him, but out of the top fighters at 140, I just think he's the weakest link. I think he's barely a top 10 fighter at 140. That's just my opinion. But let's talk about, everybody here. You got Josh Taylor, who I personally believe that the two top fighters in this division at 140 right now are Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis. I think those two are going to be the two finalists in this division. In this tournament. And I think they're those two. I think I'm not sure where I'm going with that fight because I want to see how they look against their next opponent. You got Regis Prograis, who's fighting Cairo Relic, who's a tough fighter. Really, really good pressure fighter. Okay, and I can't remember who he just beat. I know it's a guy that Undango knocked out in like one round. Starts with a T. I can't remember his name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. That's Cairo Relic's last fight. Didn't look that impressive in that last fight, okay? I expected him to definitely knock this guy out, all right? He was getting outboxed at some points, and even though he looked good, I actually think Cairo Relic is undefeated. I think he beat Ricky Burns. I think he edged that fight, and I also think he beat Barthélemy in that first fight. I think in both fights I think he won both of those fights. He definitely dominated Barthélemy in the second fight, all right? But I think Relic is undefeated, in my opinion. I think Ricky Burns got the hometown advantage, and I think Relic edged that fight. But Relic against Regis Prograis, the way I see that fight going, I think Relic is a very good pressure fighter. He has a lot of power. A lot of volume, good stamina and everything. But Regis Prograis is just too big of a puncher and too good of a counter puncher. And I think he will outbox him. I think Prograis is going to neutralize him. And the volume really won't be there with Relic. And I think he's going to beat him on points. I think Regis Prograis is going to beat him on points. And I think that's going to, that will put him in the final fight. And between Josh Taylor is really good. I mean, for the amount of fights, I mean, he's a seasoned amateur, but as he jumped right on it as a professional. Don't have that many fights, was able to beat O'Hara Davis. That was the first fight I seen him in because all of the drama leading up to that. I didn't even know who Josh Taylor was until he fought Davis because all those, the back and forth they had kind of got me interested in that. And he beat Davis. He beat Miguel Vasquez, who's always a tricky, difficult fighter to beat. And the best fight was against Victor Postal. That was his most impressive fight because he was actually having trouble, and he was able to make the adjustment and start coming forward and coming tough, going to his body, being a pressure fighter. He was getting outboxed a little bit by Postal, but he was able to make adjustment. He made a few adjustments in that fight, I believe. It's been a while since I've seen it. I haven't seen the fight since the fight was on live. But that was a very good, and I like shit like that. That was a very impressive performance because I like when a fighter can make adjustments when they're down. That shows a lot. That's a lot to me. And he seems to have a lot of power. He's very fast, got great legs. I really like Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor is definitely between him and Regis Prograis. I think those two are the two best, definitely at 140. But he beat Ryan Martin. I didn't rate Ryan Martin that high. I didn't expect much from that fight. I thought Josh Taylor was definitely, he easily won that fight. And I think Josh Taylor is going to beat Baranchek, okay? That's a tough fight for him, though. Baranchek, another come forward, heavy, big puncher fighter. I think him and Relic would have a good fight. That would have been a good fight. But Baranchek, seeing what he did against Yigit, very good. But I think Josh Taylor's boxing ability, his quickness, his quick he's has great legs, great movement in the ring, good reflexes, good defense, and great hand speed. I think he's going to be able to be rangy. He's tall and outbox Baranchek from the outside. And I think it's going to be left between those two. And I think the winner of those two is going to beat whoever wins between Hooker and Ramirez. All right. If I had to pick a winner today between Regis Prograis, if I had to choose someone, that's tough. I'm not going to give a pick. I want to see how they both look in their next fights, all right? Because I think Taylor and Prograis got tough fights coming up. I think they're going to win both. I think both of them are going to win. But it's definitely between those two. Because Prograis, I think Josh Taylor sometimes, but Prograis has power. And he has the counter-punching ability to catch Josh Taylor and drop him. But Josh Taylor has the good movement. He has the quick hands. It's tough, It's tough between the. I'm not sure. So I'm going to hold off on that one. But they'll definitely win between whoever wins this tournament will beat the other two champions. So I like what I see at 140. Since Terrence Crawford moved up, we're just waiting to see who's the king at 140. I think whoever wins this tournament is the king. And they're going to prove it when they fight the winner of the other fights, all right? Let me know who you guys got in this tournament, and if you agree, if you see it how I see it. I think Hooker beats Ramirez if they unify, if they do decide to unify, and I think they lose to whoever wins the tournament. All right, so hopefully soon, and I think it's very possible by the end of 2020 we'll have an undisputed champ down at 140. All right, let me know what you guys think. I'm out.